Welcome to the Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we are here again at the beautiful IL Tavolo Di Palmisano, located at 700 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And folks, last week, our guest contributor to my rights made his Pulse premiere as being a food insider or a places insider, and you guys loved it so much that we decided that we needed to bring him back. You won the hearts of the audience, sir.
Well, thank you. I do it for the audience, but right now, because of this, I mostly do it for myself.
Exactly, and I couldn't even introduce him. Right. And there's, of course, my good friend Frank, and last week we tried an array of dishes. It was the eggplant parmesan, it was the seafood risotto, and of course it was the wild mushroom bruschetta. Can you still taste those dishes in your mouth?
I could still taste those dishes in my mouth. In fact, the parmesan, I wanted to take it home. I think I did take it home.
Yeah, I think you did take it home. Take it home. You took it from our crew, and they're still mad at you about that.
Oh, that's right. That's why. Yeah, I tried to forget it. That's why.
Exactly.
Oh well.
Well, Frank, you here we are. Hit the nail on the head. Here we are again, second week in a row.
Wow.
And I am going to carb you up. Are you a big fan of carbs?
Well, yeah, absolutely a big fan of carbs. I've been doing carbs a long time.
Well, then I got good news for you.
Yes,
because
you do.
We have 3 unbelievable pasta dishes here. And, they're all unique in their own way.
They look great.
Yeah, we're going to start with the one in front of you, which I'm being told is a fresh spaghetti aglio olio. Can you say that for me, please?
Spaghetti al olio.
Aglio e olio.
Aglio e olio.
Basically, that's just spaghetti with garlic and oil.
Aglio e olio.
Yeah. You know what? Dig in and try that, and then we'll work on your enunciation later.
Yeah, absolutely,
okay?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get it. I just,
Are you a big fan of spaghetti, by the way?
I love spaghetti.
Nice.
I love that angel hair, the regular spaghetti, anything.
Well,
anything.
You are in for, look at that. He knew exactly how to do that. And no, there's no spoon, so we're going to embarrass you
look
right
at that.
on camera.
Look at that. He knew.
He knew.
He knew instinctively what I was going for.
No, you got to keep your dish down. Didn't Mama teach you how to keep your dish down?
She wasn't Italian.
Well, I'm still.
All right.
All right.
I'm gonna take this. Hold on.
Aglio olio is while you try that, is such a traditional Italian dish, and this is one of the better dishes that I've seen here at Il Tavolo Di. Oh, and look, he's got stuff coming down. You need a napkin there, Frank?
Well, absolutely. Oh man. Oh. Good. Wow. It's really very. The sauce.
Which is not a sauce. It's just garlic and oil.
It's just that's what I was trying to place it between the garlic and the oil. I mean, it's just blended so well.
Right.
It's really good. And the pasta's great. Is it home? I assume it's homemade pasta.
Homemade pasta. Yeah, it's fresh spaghetti. Yep.
Big difference. Any place I go, homemade pasta. It's wonderful. It really is wonderful.
You didn't choke on the spaghetti strand.
I did not. No, I did. Well, I've been eating spaghetti a long time.
Oh, all right.
Even my mom, Hungarian mom, made spaghetti.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Very similar spaghetti aglio olio. And folks, by the way, at home, if you are looking for our normal foodies and our Places Insiders, Megan, Jenna, Daria, and Krister, they will be on future episodes. But Frank did such a phenomenal job, according to you, that we needed to bring him back this week.
Oh man!
All right, I need a rating. I need a rating out of 10.
We're gonna give this an 8.
An 8?
We're gonna give this an 8.
Excellent. That's an excellent rating for pasta.
It's
let me tell you. All right. We are going to move on as your carb overload continues.
Oh, my God.
And in front of you, you have a parpadella, which, of course, is a thicker... Yeah, say that for me.
Parpadella.
Parpardella.
How was it?
Parpardella.
Parpardella.
Bravissimo.
Parpardella.
Exactly, which of course is a thicker spaghetti. Or a thicker pasta, I should say, that's long, with wild mushrooms. You had the wild mushrooms.
I remember the wild mushrooms.
Exactly.
Very hard to forget.
Very, very hard to forget. Dig in, Frank. Frank, I might have to give you my plate. You're...
Oh, my God. Look at this. Hold on a second.
Oh, man, yeah.
You know what? Let's do it the right way.
Wow.
There you go.
He is schooling me right now.
I've been in a couple of kitchens.
And while you dig in there, Frank, oh man, he is just he's just going all in.
All right, there we go.
While you dig in, I can tell you that the parpadella is also fresh.
Parpadella.
Yes, it's also fresh.
This is like I'm a paramour for Parpadella. I don't know how I got in. It just came up like that. Look at that. Huh?
Exactly. You know.
Oh my God! What is that sauce?
It's probably a garlic and oil sauce as well.
No, there's something different. It's
Really?
I
What do
hate
you
to
taste?
say it. It's almost like cilantro.
It probably. Oh yeah, I can see cilantro right there. Boom.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
This is phenomenal.
Because I'm telling you, the sauces are very similar.
Oh, I'm going right to a 9.
Wow.
I'm going right
Didn't
to a
even
9.
waste any
Oh,
time.
this is phenomenal. This dish is phenomenal.
Why do you like it so much?
The freshness, the pasta, the sauce, the way they blend again the garlic and the oil, and the cilantro. It's perfectly compressed into a wonderful, wonderful dish with varying tastes, all in the same spot. It's wonderful, especially cilantro. This is what I'm tasting.
Yeah, no, there.
Oh, it's great.
No. All right.
phenomenal.
Before we move on to the
And
final
you can
dish-
talk while you're eating.
And you can talk while you're eating. So I'll let you chew because I have a question for you before we move
Sure.
on to the final dish.
God.
You know, you've been in Hoboken. How long did you say last week?
43 years.
Longer than I've been alive. Yes, I used that
right.
again. Even though I'm born and raised here.
That's fine.
There are a lot of quality Italian restaurants in Hoboken.
Oh, there's a bunch.
But Il Tavolo di Palmisano, right?
It is. We are fortunate to have Il Tavolo.
Il Tavolo
Il Tavolo
di Palmisano.
Di Palmisano restaurant here in Hoboken, and so close to where I live. That doesn't mean you come knocking on my door,
I know.
but it's wonderful. I'm happy it's close.
Exactly. All right, let's get to the final dish here.
we
This
go.
is another pasta dish. And you know what? Why don't we switch plates there, Frank? Come
Yeah,
on,
that's
I'm
a
gonna,
good-
I'm
that's a
gonna
good
help
idea.
you out here, all right,
That's
buddy?
a good idea.
And this is an
Yeah, this one.
orecchiette, which is another dish
Yeah.
with, it looks like broccoli.
Orecchiette is the pasta.
Is the pasta, correct? Which is the little circular
And the
pasta you see
broccoli
there.
rabe.
And broccoli rabe, and we
it's got
say
the
in
little-
Italian,
oh my
sausage.
That's
Salsiccia.
sausage. Sausage. My wife makes this dish. It looks very, very similar. She cuts up the sausage in very small pieces. These are a little bit bigger. It looks phenomenal.
And again, last week you
yeah.
said that Il Tavolo had better eggplant parmesan than your wife.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, you know.
And I made it back.
And you made it.
Holy cow! I made it back. All right, well, this is.
So
gonna-
be nice to your wife on this dish there, Frank.
Oh my God! It's a drug.
A drug.
It's a drug.
But like the good drugs or the drugs you need to stay alive?
It's addictive. It's the drug you need to stay alive.
Ooh.
As far as I'm concerned, in my case, this will prevent a heart attack. This is
You
wonderful.
say so.
I do. Oh, this is
All right, tell me
this
the
is
flavors in your mouth.
okay. There's a little garlic. What is this anyway?
That's
not
the broccoli rabe.
That's the broccoli rabe.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's great. And the sausage has a little heat, and the sauce combined with everything in this plate is just terrific.
Yeah.
It's not over. It's not under. It's really perfect.
Give me a score.
Oh, I get 9.5.
9.
At least 9.5.
We've averaged about a 9 for all 3 pasta dishes today. And Frank, I have to ask you now because you are,
Sure.
you did eat 3 carb dishes in a row here. Do you feel as if you've had a carb overload, or can you finish all 3 of these?
Oh, I could probably finish all 3 of these, but I'm definitely having a carb overload. Oh yeah. Oh, big time.
Well, Frank Rosner, back for the second week as our guest contributor and our guest places insider and our guest foodie. Il Tavolo di Palmisano, people need to get here, right?
Immediately.
Wow. Thank you so much.
You got it.
We'll let you finish chewing.
You got it.
Thank
you,
you. Handshake to go.
Thank you.
Il Tavolo di Palmisano, located at 700 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. We will be right back. Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Hi, everybody. Frank Rosner here, hosting for Peter Biancamato on The Pulse. Nice to see everyone. Good. Again, hello, everybody. Hope everybody is well and all full from all the holidays. Now you're going to have to go on a diet. You're going to have to join a gym. I know I'm not because I really don't care. This stuff is lively. I have Josh Sotomayor on my right.
Real men have curves.
There you go. And how are you, Josh?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
That's great. I can't complain. I want to bring up some topics that's localized to Hoboken currently. I mean, you've got Ravi Bala, the mayor of Hoboken, who is jumping in to run for the congressional district, the 8th congressional district.
Fun fact, I live in Hoboken.
Oh, well, another fun fact, so do I.
Boom.
But Menendez Jr., Rob Menendez Jr., is, of course, running for re-election in the 8th congressional district. And, of course, Ravi now wants to also run against him. So your thoughts on that? It was pretty quick when Ravi came in and said, I want to run. What are your thoughts?
Well, the 8th congressional district is traditionally, and obviously everything changes. This is America. Neighborhoods don't stay one ethnicity for forever, right?
No, they don't. Not even a square mile.
But, well, I mean, listen, people think of Harlem as traditionally black, and it has been for a long time. But for a quick minute, it was a little bit Jewish, and the Einsteins, my ancestors lived there for a quick minute.
That's right.
So every neighborhood changes and evolves, and it's amazing, and it's a great thing about our country. But the district is traditionally very heavily Hispanic, and it's thought out as a Hispanic seat. Now, obviously, no one ethnicity owns any seat, nor should it be, because that would be anti-American. But demographic facts are facts.
There has been extensive gentrification going on for years.
That is true. That is definitely true. But also, the Hispanic community in New Jersey has been both victim of that gentrification, but also part of that gentrification, especially as the Cuban community, went from, refugees with nothing to business leaders, not just in New Jersey, but around the world. God bless them.
Most specifically Union City, where I kind of grew up.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say it's Union City is majority Cuban anymore. I mean,
not anymore. No.
So I mean, still New Jersey has 500,000 Cubans, and they remember their roots. God bless them.
That's correct.
But I definitely think it's an interesting battle. I don't think Representative Menendez is anything to sneeze at. I think he definitely has a lot more strengths than people give him credit for. And I also think that Mayor Bala has a vast network of particularly Sikh Americans that have been engaged. I think the first Sikh elected to Congress was in the late 50s or early 60s.
It goes that far back, huh? Wow, I didn't know that.
The first Indian elected, I believe, was Sikh. It was on the West Coast. The gentleman was on the West Coast, not this person. So, I mean, there's definitely an active network out there that I think will support Bala in the same way that Menendez has that Cuban network. Now, the question is do they reach beyond their co-ethnic networks? Like how deep in terms of pockets do those networks go to provide them support? How far outside of them can they reach into the pockets of other affinity groups for support? And then also, where will the different unions fall? Now, to me, the more interesting thing, I mean, that's going to be an interesting battle, no doubt, no doubt.
Oh, it's going to be terrific to watch.
But even more interesting is if Bala isn't the mayor anymore, right? What happens in Hoboken?
And there you go. I'm not sure, but I have these thoughts in my mind that I'm thinking maybe 30 people will run for mayor. I'm pretty sure there's 2 people I know of that I think will run. I don't know if they will or not. One happens to be Dr. Michael Russo. The other one is Ruben Ramos. I think they could both be, great mayors. I'm not sure if one or the other or either one is running. I have no idea. But I think they want to run. Some other people that come to mind is possibly Emily Jabor. I'm not sure about Jen Gittino, but Emily, yes, again. And so that would be 3 candidates at least that I think will run. And it could eventually become a free-for-all. Imagine that.
I definitely, I don't see Councilwoman Giuttino running,
No.
but I definitely do think that it would be a whole bunch of people running.
Yeah.
Especially since it's now a runoff system. So unless one candidate gets
That's right.
50% of the vote plus one extra person, a majority, then it's a runoff. So there's no incentive for people not to roll the die and then try to do that backroom deal afterwards.
Sure.
For supporting whichever camp of the two people in the end in the runoff.
Well, having brought that up, what are your thoughts on rank voting? And do you think it would be something that can come to Hoboken or the county itself or the state?
I think regardless of the way one feels about it, and I think there's negatives and positives. Generally, I'm positive towards it, but I'm not married to the idea. I think that when it eventually becomes legal in the state, everyone's going to start using it across the state because it's an instant runoff. And
it saves money. It's efficient and it saves money, I believe. That's one of the arguments. So two of the arguments for it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of strong arguments for it. But and also in that form of runoff, you can't have the sort of behind the scenes jockeying that you'd have in a delayed runoff system that we currently have.
Right. Well, it's an outright run. A run for the roses. So
just to be clear, people get to in a ranked choice voting, you get to put your second choice and your third choice. And that way, if your first choice doesn't make it with 50% plus one, then they go to the votes for number two to see if anybody makes it. And that way, more people get, more of what they wanted in terms of, elected officials.
Well, I believe it's a way to reach plurality without having 2 or 3 elections if necessary.
Yeah, I think majority, but yeah.
So there you go.
But either way, whether they're Republican, Democrat, whether it's a nonpartisan election or a partisan election, whoever's in office, in whatever elected office they're in at least the United States, I don't know about other countries, they have too much damn power and too much damn influence in our lives.
Wow.
We should get them, all of them, out of our pockets, out of our bedrooms, out of our houses, and out of our wallets.
Oh, interesting. I think Josh and I, this is cataclysmic. It's monumental. I think this is the first time we've agreed again. How the hell did that happen?
Well, I don't know how it could be the first time we agree again, because that would imply,
that
it's not the first time.
No, it's the first time that on consecutive occasions we may have agreed. How does that happen?
Well, let's go for a hat trick.
Well, yeah, that's right.
Let's
go for a hat trick, baby. There you go. That's a hockey term. I'm sure everyone knows what that is.
I didn't learn that term from hockey.
No?
Nope.
I'm not gonna touch that.
Don't ask, don't tell.
That's a good one. But so anyway, what else is on your mind that you think we should address as far as locally? Because there's some stuff going on. The rats. I don't know what the mitigation is going on right now. You might be aware of something that I'm not. Are the rats still streaming out of restaurants? Are they streaming on the streets? Where are they streaming? Where are they not streaming?
Well, as I'm sure I'm aware of plenty of things that you're not. But I think right now winter has killed the rats that can't find affordable housing. And the other rats have gone inside of everyone's apartments right now.
I wrote that line, by the way.
So it's a problem. I mean, I know that some of the landlords near my building have been fumigating in terms of the rats, in terms of the walls, because they're all running around there, which means every place on Washington Street has rats and mice, and people need to give the restaurants a little bit of a break because it's not their fault. I mean, like it's everywhere.
I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Anyway, folks, stay tuned. Don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano, back in the host chair, and still here at the beautiful IL Tavolo Di Palmisano, located at 700 Clinton Street in the beautiful city of Hoboken, New Jersey. And folks, you have asked for her. Please stop sending emails because we have delivered, and that is our Pulse Health Insider, Dr. Tina Shah. Welcome back and Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Are you excited?
I mean, can you tell?
I
I am
can
so
tell.
happy to be back.
Well, we are so happy to have you back, and the audience is even more ecstatic. Trust me. And Dr. Shaw, I feel like everybody's sick. What is going on out there?
You know what? It's the apocalypse.
I mean, I hope not.
Well, in all seriousness, it's winter. And
Yeah.
I think we've had some strange winters, right, the last few years, but we're hitting all the old winter stuff plus the COVID effect.
Right.
In fact, in the medical communities, we're calling it a risk of what we like to say a potential triple-demic. So this isn't just your average
triple-demic?
winter. That's right.
Like COVID over and over and over again?
Actually, there are three different things.
Wow.
There's COVID,
Mm,
there's RSV, and then
okay.
there's our good old friend influenza.
Oh, which is also the flu, correct?
That's right.
All right.
That's
yeah,
right.
exactly. See, I didn't have to go to a medical school for that. But anyway, RSV. What is RSV?
So RSV's actually been around for a long time, but
Mm.
we typically talk about RSV in terms of illnesses that babies and infants can get. And so it actually stands for respiratory syncytial virus.
Mm.
And it's something that unfortunately can even put young kids in the hospital. But the reason I bring it up now when we think about adults is that RSV can be something mild like the common cold, or it could be something severe and land you up in the hospital where you might need oxygen or you might need a ventilator.
And no matter how healthy you are, correct?
That's right. Of course, if you have some predispositions,
Right.
for example, let's say you have lung disease, let's say you have emphysema or
Asthma, right?
asthma, or
Right.
you're on a medicine that might suppress your immune system, that would put you at risk for RSV and other viruses. But I really want to highlight this because we actually have a vaccine for RSV,
Or RSV.
that came out for this year.
Much quicker than the COVID vaccine, it looks.
That's right.
Well, because the RSV, like you said, has been around, but this is the adult version, correct?
That's correct. So this is news in that if you are 60 years or older, and there's some other categories if you might have medical conditions or be immunosuppressed, the CDC is now recommending that everyone in this age group take the RSV vaccine. That is new. We didn't have that last year.
And it's commonly available, almost like the flu vaccine and the COVID vaccine, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And Dr. Shaw, I think there's such a misconception about vaccines. People are like, oh, all these vaccines, who knows what's really going into my body and all that. However, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because I am far from a medical expert, and especially one at the caliber of working for 3 presidents like you. The more people take vaccines, the less germs go around, because although they might not, they might still get sick, they won't get that sick if you have a vaccine for either RSV, COVID, or the flu, correct?
The biggest thing vaccines can do is try and reduce how sick we get. And yes, it also has an impact on the contagiousness. So for me as a doctor, the biggest reason I would take vaccines, or I would recommend this to my patients, and I'm a pulmonologist too,
Right.
so I deal with the lungs all the time, is that we have lives to live. So why don't you just take the vaccines, get it over with, and go on with your life? Because no one has time to be laid up in the hospital and feeling that sick.
And again, correct me if I'm wrong, but the FDA, they have vigorous protocols when it comes to any type of vaccines that's being, administered to the public, right or wrong?
That is correct. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of misinformation around potential harms of vaccines, and they are not true. So we are recommending that you take a flu vaccine this year, that you take the RSV vaccine if you are an infant, a baby, or if you're 60 and up, and that you take the COVID vaccine. These are things that are not new. They are very, very, very much based on evidence.
And Dr. Shaw, a lot of the symptoms are similar for all 3 of these diseases, correct? However, the vaccines fight different, diseases in different ways, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right. I think the biggest reason to take it is to make sure that you don't get so ill that we're worried about you potentially dying or needing the hospital. So you may notice sometimes that you've taken the flu shot and you can still get the flu. And that's possible, as an example. But the whole point is that we try and reduce the risk of severe illness.
Amen.
And as we've seen with COVID, the more we vaccinate our communities, the less it spreads.
Right. And then we're going to end this on this conversation, but hospitalizations have doubled from November to December of 2023 because of COVID and RSV and the flu. And that's certainly looking like because people are not taking their vaccines.
I think that's right. So let's just take a look at the COVID booster, the one that we
Right.
need to take for this season. Only 20% of Americans have taken it so far. So now we know Jersey is special. In fact, we're very educated. We really take charge of our health. But guess what? We have a lot of room to grow too. So we really need to take the COVID vaccine or booster, or if you haven't had it at all, you should take the first series for COVID. If you're 60 and up, take the RSV vaccine. And pretty much everyone now should be taking influenza. But if you have any questions, you should talk with your doctor. It's not too late. This is the right time to get your shots.
Amen. Amen. Well, we do have a little bit of time here, and I do want to discuss something that's been in the New Jersey legislature. As of this filming, it passed the assembly, I believe you said, and it is in the Senate's hands, and that is regarding pre-authorization. So I was wondering if you want to first explain to the audience what they're trying to pass.
So I want you to think about a time you've heard a story like this, because I think everyone has this story, whether it's themselves or someone they know. But, they don't feel so good. They go to the doctor, and let's say the doctor's like, okay, let's get that CAT scan, or okay, let's get that blood work. But before you can go, they say, wait, I got to check with your insurance. Give me about a week, maybe 2 weeks, because I have to get it approved. That is a pre-authorization or a prior authorization. And this is simply a process that insurance companies have put into place to control costs, many times at the expense of our safety and us being able to get care, even when we have health insurance.
And this is different than having a pre-existing condition, correct?
That's right. This is all about when you and your doctor decide that there's some test or some therapy or some other person that you need to see. It's an extra step that's an administrative step that really doesn't help. In fact, there is numerous data showing, in fact, 97% of physician offices say that prior auths have delayed medical care or even caused harm in some cases.
Really? Well, yeah, because if they're waiting for their insurance company to get back to them and they need to have a medical procedure done and they're not getting back to them, I mean, they don't want to be stuck with the bill, correct?
Right. And I'll just share something because I think my mother would be okay with this, but my mom had chest pain just a few months ago. Now, normally when you think of chest pain, you think of, well, I wonder if it's a heart attack, right?
Right.
Her prior authorization was denied to get a cardiac cath. So she had all the right risk factors to worry about this. She literally had a symptom of having chest pain and it was denied. And this isn't the only story. So unfortunately, the practice has sort of run amok where we now have tons of prior authorizations for medical care that we should just be delivering up front.
And you are confident that the Senate, the state Senate, is going to pass this, and this is going to be just wonderful news for New Jersey residents, correct?
Fingers crossed. So what this does is it actually applies to about 40% of the residents living in Jersey, and that is folks that have health insurance that are regulated at the state level. So what it's going to do is change the turnaround time. Currently, insurance companies have 15 days to respond.
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
So now it's going to go down to 24 to 72 hours, depending on how urgent it is. That feels a little more comfortable, doesn't it?
100%.
Also, you may not know this, but every time a prior authorization is denied, we doctors and our care teams are on the phone for a long time. And now we will actually have a peer-to-peer review so that we don't waste time so that we can take care of patients.
Well, that is fantastic. And from your lips to the legislature's ears, correct? And I'm happy New Jersey's taking that a very, very important step that we live in such a great progressive state. So Dr. Tina Shah, our Pulse Medical Insider, I'm getting your name all confused. You know why? Because you haven't been on the show in so long. So we hope to see you really soon.
Way to throw some shade, but I'll be back.
I absolutely love it. Thank you again. Really appreciate it. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.